What's up, drivetrain? We are just getting back from vacation. Sorry, I got a little thing here. That should be better. Anyway, but we're just getting back from vacation, kind of getting unpacked, and I've got some things to do today. Sorry, the sun is kind of bright, which is not a bad thing, but I've got to put some things away. We're still unpacking, but I've got some van work to do. But today is about the sport van. So this is our 2007 Honda Odyssey minivan. We've had this for a number of years, and it has done us very well. And we just got back from vacation in it, but before vacation, I have been hearing some kind of clunking when I would just ride down the alley, or, you know, bumps in general. I felt that when if I would come to a stoplight and stop and then immediately go again, it just felt like things in the drivetrain were not, the drivetrain. It felt like things in the drivetrain were not really locked in tight. And so I jacked the van up and had my wife get in and put it in gear and take her foot off the brake and on the brake and off the brake and on the brake. And I could see the entire transmission and engine shifting. So I thought, oh no, it needs some engine mounts and transmission mounts. So I went to the guys at 1A Auto, because that's typically where I will pick up parts. If I can't get them locally, say at an Advanced Auto Parts, and use some coupons, then I'll pick them up at 1A Auto. They've got some great customer service, some great tutorials on their website, and I've just really enjoyed the products that they send. It's usually the Torque, I believe that's what I call it, TRQ. Is kind of the brand that they sell, and they've got some really good products, but again, their customer service is great. So I ordered a full kit for this van based on what I saw online, and I got in 5 mounts. There's 2 for the side on the engine. There is 1 on the far side, on the passenger side, that's an engine mount, and then there's a front and rear engine mount as well. And those are active mounts. They have an electrical connection that goes to it, and something with the computer that when you accelerate, it puts more force into the. I don't know. It's active as opposed to passive. So long story short, I got some of the mounts done, and I was working on the rear mount to the engine, and found that the base of the engine mount seemed like it was twisted 180 degrees, and the electrical connection, although it fit, was in the wrong spot. So they shipped me, they did the appropriate thing, they shipped me at no charge the correct part. They actually didn't even ask for the other one back, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But when we look at it, this is the part that they just shipped me as a replacement, 70584, and the one that they sent me originally, 70584. But if we look at the part, this is the replacement one, which has the electrical connection in the back, which is how it's supposed to be, with this gasket up front and this L bracket facing the correct direction. This one, we got the gasket, we've got the L bracket, but the electrical connection is on the side. And so for this to fit in there, the base had to go like that to line up properly. So what I want to do is make sure that these will line up in the correct manner, and then I'm going to pull the van apart. The other thing that I'm a little concerned about is this is the front mount, 70842, and I'm a little concerned that when I pull the factory one out, that it's going to have a similar problem, because they both showed on the website having the connector in the back like this, but the connector's on the side on both the front and the rear mounts that they sent. So we'll see, time will tell, but we got to jack this thing up. We got to get the rear mount off, get this one replaced, and then pull the front mount off and see if I can replace it with the one they sent originally. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. Come along for the ride. So like I said, I've already replaced one bushing, which you can't really see, unfortunately. All the hard work, it's directly underneath this box. But there's a bushing down there. I got that one taken care of. And then also right here, this one and this one, those are some new bushings there and there as well. And when I'm back in here, I'm always looking at these control arms, because you can see the bushings in there. They've got a little bit of rot on them, and although it's not ideal, I don't think those are causing problems right now. I do need a CV axle on the passenger side, I believe, but I'm not going to do that yet because it clicks only a little bit. But right now, I just want to get these bushings taken care of and see how this van drives with current, good, up-to-date bushings. So let's get a creep underneath, show you what we got to pull it out, swap it, and then move on to the front one. Alright, so we are underneath the van now, and we've got the exhaust here. This is the cross member, but right up here, this is the bushing. Let's see if we can get you up there. There's the bushing right there. So what it has is this kind of U-shaped rubber cover that's got a thin piece of metal in it. Pull the electrical connection out. There's also a little drain piece that sits right up here. You got to do 2 10 mils to get this thing out of the way. And we're going to put another jack. The jack's going to go right here underneath the actual transmission to kind of take some pressure off of it, but it's kind of a pain. There's 2 bolts on either side of this thing, 17, 17. There's a 17 in the top middle that you got to get to, and then there's 4 14s here. And it's just kind of tight quarters. It's kind of a pain. If I had a lift, it would be much easier, but this is what we got. I've had it off before. I can get it off again. That's clear. And yeah, so we're going to get some tools down there, undo some bolts, and get the new one put on there. All right, so that bracket's out of the way. Next, I've got to go up top and do the 17 that is on this side and then the one on that side. So we're going to see if we can loosen it up with this guy, which is our bendable ratchet. Let's make sure it's on loosen first. There we go. So I got it broken loose. It's hard to see, but it comes out with your hand. I'm just running my fingers back and forth on it, getting it pulled out. This is a 17 mil on one side. On the far side, let's see, it should come out in just a second. There we go. So you're running blind. It's just a nut. Keep that to the side. This one is also loose, but I'm going to try and reposition my hand. And so what these bolts are attaching to is actually on the side of the engine mount. So now we got to try and peel this thing off. Like I said, it mostly is just rubber. Oh, come on. But it's just kind of a pain. It's got a little piece of metal at the top. So I couldn't get this bracket out immediately, so I got lazy because I didn't want to get out from under the car. So the top bolt that goes into the actual engine mount piece, I decided to take that out. It's a 14 millimeter. I'm just unscrewing it by hand, slowly but surely. It's a pretty long bolt. It's pretty tiring, pretty annoying. There we go, that's the bolt. We got that guy out. Now what I can do is I can actually jack the transmission up, get a little extra room, pull this guy out, and then we'll hit these 4 14 millimeter bolts, saw the engine mount out. Alright, there's the other jack. Up underneath, we've got some pressure taken off. So now this thing should be able to come out. So you can see the hole over there. That side's over. Just got to get this side up and over. One, two. Come on. Fat pig, get out of there. I guess I need to jack it up more, but I'm lazy. Last time I did this, I had one of my youngest son was out here helping me jack the car up. All right, I'm gonna jack it up more. All right, a couple more pumps. Let's see if it'll come out of here. Sounds like the trash truck's coming. All right, screw it. I'm just gonna do these 14 mils. We've got 3 bolts out. We're on to the last one. This is on the front passenger side. It's the hardest one to reach. You can't see what you're doing. Kind of floating blind in there, but should be able, if I can get the wrench off with this guy, should be able to get my hand up in there and hopefully spin it out. The whole mount moves, which is nice. She is still on there pretty good. Alright, so I had to get that wrench back up in there, get that bolt out, but should be able to wiggle this guy out, even though it's got this top cap still sitting around it. Try and get that. There we go. Come on, mount. Yeah. I say success, but she's hanging up. Gimme. Gimme. There we go. Engine mount out. Here's this top cap that just wants to hang on. I'll move these things out so you can actually see what they look like. Alright, so this is the mount here. This is kind of that top cap that it's a pain in, anyway. So it's got this metal piece that goes over. It's just an extra bushing. But then we've got the L bracket here, the front bushing that rubs on the engine mount, and then your electrical connection in the back. This is our replacement unit. This is not our replacement unit. All right. Now we got the right one. Electrical in the back. Let's just make sure that these match. They do, so the holes line up. You probably can't see that, but that's all right. So again, for this one that they sent originally to match with the connector on the side, these holes would need to be 180 degrees, but then this doesn't fit on the engine properly. So even though the electrical could reach here instead of the back, anyway, it's not the right mount. But that is the right mount. So we're gonna put that one in. We'll put the top cap back on. We'll do the things and move on with our life. All right, so about 10 minutes later, we got the engine mount put in, got it wrapped up, got those bolts on top, and then now we're just kind of clearing our tools out. Gonna go ahead and slap this wheel on. And an important thing to note is always double check your lug nuts. All right, washed my hands, got some water, back at it now. First thing we gotta do is take this cover off. This one, like, I should drive the van first to even see if this one's bad. But like, I bought it, it's in the kit. I'm gonna drive it first. I drove it like 10 feet. Still feel it. Gotta do the front mount. Let's get into it. It's like way down here. You gotta like move radiator hose, take out the first injector, all kinds of random things just to get it out. It has one of those little rubber covers, just like the rear one did. So lots of things to do up in here. I'll let you in when I get closer. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but I'm gonna put this on the first bolt that I gotta get to. So that's on the first one. There's another one way down there on this side. So I'm gonna get those off, but again, there's a lot of stuff in the way. Gotta kind of remove some things, disconnect some things, make some space. It's gonna be kind of hard for y'all to see, but that's what I'm doing. So got a little update here. We got the engine mount down here floating around, got it all loosened up, and now I gotta try and fit a St. Bernard through the cat door and try and get that thing up here. They say to take this aluminum bracket off. I just want to avoid doing that, but I think I'm gonna have to, which is kind of unfortunate, but anyway, we'll keep rolling. We're close. Success. Got the old one out, got the new one waiting. They line up. I've tested the bolt patterns on the bottom. I'm ready to put this thing in because this has literally like been 3 hours on this thing. It's been forever to get it out. It's such a tight space. These things had to come over. It was pinching up against the fan and that reservoir tank right there, and the starter, kind of running to the starter. Had to take the oil cap out just to have the extra 1/4 inch of clearance to get it past. So this is a pretty stupid install, but we've got the right part. We're gonna put it back together. We're gonna get this thing done and get this van checked off, back on the road, and safe again. All right, let's keep going. This is a good feeling. I'm putting the bolt back from the engine mount into the actual engine block here. So we're getting that thing in. All I got to do is hook up some wires and some brackets back on top, that crazy rubber thing, and then we're going to see if it works. But apparently I'll be doing this for the next 3 minutes maybe. I hate tight spaces. All right, success. We got the mount in, we got everything plugged back up. I actually tested to make sure that the car fires up because I had injector wires and grounds and stuff all disconnected. So right now I'm just kind of packing up all the tools, and then I'm going to get my hands cleaned up, and then I'm going to take this thing for a spin around the block. But for right now, counting this thing as a success. So I did forget that I'm missing a bolt. One of the plastic kind of oil catch pan or catch, whatever the thing is that's underneath there, it's missing a bolt. Got a couple zip ties in there, but I got some extra bolts laying around here. I'm going to take a little peek at my collection and see if I can find something that fits. I think these are some 2 good options here. Usually it's just a 10 mil. We'll take this coarse thread too, see if this might work. All right, success. Took it around the block. It is much more responsive now upon accelerating and braking, so that's good. There's still a little of the bucka bucka noise, and I think that's just lower control arms. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for just hanging out with the drivetrain here. We're working on cars today, but we got some racing coming up here. I do have some other videos, some other biking videos that are coming out. So we got a couple new bikes into the fleet, and I've also got some other reviews that I want to put out for you guys. But thanks for hanging out with this one. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.